All right. What's up, my people? Welcome back to another episode of the Fiyah Session Podcast. Man, this episode about to be a great one. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be informative. I got my guy with me as usual, my fam, Benji Banks, the man, the brand over there, sipping the champagne the wine over there. What's up?
We got us a little Cabernet Sauvignon, so we gonna make sure we good for this episode.
Okay. And of course, we got a special guest today. We got Sexologist Goody Howard. What's up, Goody?
Goody.
What's up?
And shout out to the Goody gang. They tuned in.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
yes.
So, hey, y'all, I'm telling you, I'll start out prefacing this interview with telling you how I met this young lady. We did a Battle of the Sexes party. And, a friend of ours, Candace Freeman, shout out to Candace, asked me to host a party. And she said she had a home girl that was going to come with some facts, some real fun stuff, sexologist. So, me, I don't know what a sexologist is. You know what I'm saying? So I just figured we're going to have some fun. We go to the party. Y'all, the questions were flying. She had responses. And when I tell you she knows her stuff, she knows her stuff. And her energy is amazing, as y'all about to find out. And don't think.
How many years ago was that?
That was 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it been a minute, and her energy is just amazing, y'all. So I had to, ask her to be on the show, and thankfully she was like, "Yeah, I'll do that." So we got her here today. So, of course, we got questions, and if y'all got questions, y'all could definitely put them in the comments, and we'll try to get those answered for you. If you just got a comment, because it's going to be some wild stuff said, I'll guarantee you. So I'm telling you now. If
backstage was fire.
And you listening, if you got kids around, you probably need to go to another room or put your headsets on, because we're going to be talking about some grown folks material tonight. Yes. Just letting you know.
Right. Or this is a teaching moment for your kids.
Yeah. So you gonna learn something tonight. So let the kids go play the game or do something else, because you finna learn something.
Yes.
All right. So before we get to the good stuff, let's find out who Goody Howard is. So Goody, kind of tell us about your background, where you from, what high school, all that good stuff.
High school, damn. Well, my name is Goody Howard. I'm from Dallas, Texas, born at Parkland. You know what I'm saying? You don't get no more Dallas than that. You know what I'm saying? I am a sexologist, educator, and consultant. I've been doing this work 15 years at this point. I went to Skyline High School. Shout out to the Raiders. I was, all the things: cheerleader, homecoming princess, Spanish club, peer mediation, all of the things. I have a bachelor's in business management and development. I have a master's of social work. I have a master's of public health, and I'm getting a PhD in health education and promotion, because that's what sex education is.
Okay.
So I'm about to be Dr. Goody out here.
What's happening, Doc?
I am married. You know what I'm saying? My husband calls me Doc instead of babe. Like, that is my love language. So I'm married. I've been married almost 9 years to my amazing partner, Tazamas and Howard. I'm married to a man, but I say a partner because a husband is a liability to me. A husband just work and come home and pay and get the big piece of chicken, right? A partner kind of balances, you know what I'm saying? Y'all kind of cooperate and you're a team. A lot of people view their husbands as another child. I'm not doing that. I got kids, right? I'm also a parent. I'm not going to say I'm a mother, because when you think about what a mother does, you got all this long ass list of stuff. And when you think about what a father does, you got about 3-4 good things, right? The discipline, the football practice, the haircuts, you know what I'm saying? And the big piece of chicken. Parents, when you think about what a parent does, but I'm saying, when you think about what a parent does, you get both of those lists, right? And so I'm a parent. Me and my partner parent our children. Okay. I'm not a wife. I'm not a mother. That shit is over. Ain't no awards for being overworked out here. So we balance each other and we work together. So that's why. So, and words mean things. And so That's what I'm saying. So I'm partnered. I'm a parent. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a pimp out here. But I'm a sex educator. I do
hard out here for a pimp, huh?
Not for me. That's how I knew I needed to retire, because the shit was easy. And I was like, ooh, this is not fair for these boys. But I do like the sex toys. I do the toy parties. I teach sexual skill building workshops. So I teach a blowjob class. I teach a pussy eating class. I teach dick riding class. I teach squirting and orgasm. I teach sensual intelligence. I teach striptease. I teach strokeology for people that have penises and people that wear strap-ons. So I do all of that. And then I have another business model called Wish Training Solutions, where I teach professional development workshops. So I do comprehensive sex education from pre-K through senior citizens. I teach sex and aging, sex and disability, sex and fatness, human variance, equity, diversity and inclusion, all that kind of fun stuff. So I do all of the things.
Oh,
so when you think, yes. So like when people think of me, sometimes they think of a blowjob lady, right? Oh, that's the dick riding lady. That's the blowjob lady. But depending on where you meet me, oh, that's the chick that charges $500 a seat for professional development or healthcare providers.
Okay. Lord.
So it just depends.
Sip again on that.
Yeah, because that's
because like even my blowjob class, right? When I teach my blowjob class, I offer continuing education credits for marriage and family therapists for my blowjob class.
Okay.
Yeah.
You so have to even give us the fun stuff
on some of these courses these classes that you teach, because we need a little context with those. Because I mean, the blowjob, okay, that's self-explanatory, but some of the other ones you mentioned, the people might not be too keen on what exactly they will be learning in those courses. So of course, you know, by the end of the show, she's also going to give you her information so you can go to her pages and get more info. But we want to give you a little bit more info about it right now so they can get your motor running, because a lot of y'all probably gonna need these classes.
If you're trying to get married, get some classes.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I'm not including myself in that, you know.
Ken already married. So Ken,
no. I'm not saying because I'm married already. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I'm just, you know, I'm an advocate for the audience.
She folded her arms, bro. So
I know.
You know what that means? That means body language classes.
Yeah. So no, I got questions for you, definitely.
Because you can always learn something.
Nah, yeah, you can always get better.
Well, no, you can always learn something. You know what I'm saying? And it may not even be better. It may just be different. And if you've been fucking the same person for a long time, it makes sense to dust off and learn some new shit. I can't cuss, right? Because I'm a cusser. Is that it?
Okay. Yeah. Instead of licking that thing up and down, you might do some side swipes. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you should be. You
need to learn the anatomy of the vulva.
Yeah.
I assume you know your way around the pussy.
We gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that on the list.
Can we? We might.
I'm just saying. I assume you know your way around the pussy before you get to me.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just saying. So even with the blowjob class, the pussy eating class, I assume it's a certain level of, you know, knowledge that you have. But I'm gonna add to it, and I'm gonna give you the science and whole shit, because you know it feels good, but you may not know why it feels good, right? Yeah. Or you may be doing something that your partner doesn't like, and you don't even know it because they don't tell you. Or you may learn a new pressure point or a new piece of, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna reach in and do one of these.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I'm not gonna lie to you. For me, in my earlier 20s, like I hadn't taken like the human anatomy class in college. So once I took that class, luckily for us, we had a doctor who was very transparent when teaching the class. So he didn't shy away from questions that we asked that were sexually oriented. So when, of course, we had a lady in the class, she asked about squirting. So he broke down the diagram of how, how that works. So, so for me, that class was not only informative for a grade for my degree, but it also changed my view of, the woman's anatomy and how it's viewed and what it's, what everything is for. And like you said,
what it's capable of.
Yeah, the internal stimulation, the external stimulation at the same time versus, all this other stuff. So
about this.
We learned a lot in the classroom.
What is this?
Goody. I don't know what that is, but I know what you use it for.
What do you use it for?
Girl, that's for the Virginia. That's you take that little thing right there. See, that's for the. I'm trying to say this so I won't get in trouble.
No, you can say whatever you want to. That's the clitoris.
Yeah. That's we working with the clit right there. You know what I'm talking about? And see this little, the little thingy thing right down there. That's telling you how the Virginia is shaped. You know what I'm talking about? And then when you go up in that thing, see, you know what I'm talking about? You're supposed to go up in there. See, you're not supposed to just go up in that thing like that. You're supposed to work your way because the clit is very, very, very stimulating. That's why these women with these roses and all of this type of stuff, they're getting sexually stimulated from the clit because, that's what makes it all happen. That's what makes it click. But see, when you work the clit, and then you get you a couple fingers, and fellas, keep your fingernails filed. Keep your fingernails filed. Keep your nails, your cuticles, keep them all cut. You know what I'm talking about? You need to. This is pimpology 101. Keep your fingernails cut because you can't be going up in there like that. You can't be licking and eating. You know what I'm talking about? And doing your thing, and causing diseases. You know what I'm talking about with your fingers. You got to make sure you're good. Keep them things filed. Keep them clean. Don't get them long nails. Keep them things sharp. Okay. You can't be scratching her up in there. You know what I'm talking about? You got to treat that thing with care. So I'm gonna get myself in trouble tonight. So let me sip a little wine.
No, I think that's great because a lot of people don't know, right? Or they doing this, right?
Yeah,
you're supposed to be doing this.
You gotta know what you're doing when you're going there. And
you know what I'm saying? You gotta be gentle. But it's not my jam these days. But it's a thing.
You gotta be gentle.
But you do. But also there's pressure points. And because there are over 18 different kinds of orgasms for all body types, there are 3 orgasms just in the penis.
Right.
So, like, understanding the anatomy and like the science and whole shit of it all, and it connects you to the pleasure differently.
Let's talk about that. You said there's 3 different orgasms in the penis alone. Like, what does that entail?
Okay. So, the first orgasm, the most common orgasm for the penis is right here. This is the frenulum, right? And that's typically where the most penis orgasms start. Basically, that's like the clitoris for the dick, right? So this is the most sensitive area. This is where the orgasm starts, typically.
That's why she got to get her tip game on point, right? She got to know how to work the tip.
Correct. And that's when you go all the way to the base and squeeze the Kegels, it's massaging the head while it's inside the body. So you're getting the tightness, the wetness, the warmth, and the massage. And if you have like a vibe on your clit while you're riding, they're going to feel the vibration through your body. So it's a whole nother ball game. But there's also a pelvic orgasm, and that happens back here in the root of the penis. And that's all about the angle and the pressure and the rhythm and the stroke, because it basically stimulates the lingam, which is the root of the dick, and gives an orgasm from there. So it feels like you're being massaged from the inside.
Lord,
okay. And then the last one.
How strategic God is with this. This is amazing.
So the third one is a P-spot orgasm, and that one is behind the balls. It's the perineum and the prostate, right? So the prostate is like a walnut-sized organ, and you can feel it like a when you're aroused. When the penis is aroused, the entire pelvic area fills with blood, so that the prostate fills up as well. So you can feel it when you have your thumb behind, like if you're sucking your thumb behind the balls, you can feel that prostate on the seam. You can feel that walnut-sized gland. So what you want to do is, you see how my thumbnail is. You want to open your press your thumb this way. You don't want to go backwards and forward like this because you might accidentally get some asshole. Everybody don't like that. So you want to make sure that you got your hand behind the balls like this, and you squeeze in this way. And so your thumb and that pressure, you know what I'm saying? You that thumb and that pressure on that prostate while you're sucking dick, or if you're hitting it from the back and you reach down and you start to stimulate it, it gives you a different type of orgasm that happens from inside the body.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So
that was good information for the ladies right there.
Yeah. So ladies,
I think that was worth on a t-shirt.
Let's be clear.
Is that going on a t-shirt too?
What
you just explained, like pieces of that. Do you have that on a t-shirt also?
Nah, I do have a t-shirt that says "Get on his dick, not on his nerves."
I just need a high five for that. Praise God.
I also have to work their clit, not their nerves, just to be clear. This is not a one-way street.
I know. I totally get that. This is total reciprocation. See, what you spitting isn't a one-way street. See, this kind of interaction is what you do corporately together. And see, you can't be lazy with this. So this is why I'm enjoying this, because I'm a big fan of reciprocation. You give me $1, I'll give you $2.
It's a thing.
You give me 5, I'm gonna give you 7. That's just how I flow. So I totally am enamored with this conversation, because I know corporate worship. This is
well, this is definitely something that I hope people are tuning into and ready to learn, because I often think about, when I think about things that she posts, I often think about a line from Ludacris. And he said, some say that sex is overrated, but they just ain't doing it right.
Right.
That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people figure that because they've done it before, that, and they've done it a lot, that they're doing it right. Sometimes you can do something a lot and just be doing it wrong the whole time.
Right. I think that.
I mean, and that's why masturbation is important.
Expressing is attention to detail, though. To me, that says right detail. Like you can't. Yes, sir. You detail. And see, I think most people we're in that hit it and quit and get out and get it done. But when you're spending time, like paying attention to movements and moments and all of that, yeah, you can make a lot of great things happen sexually. But if you're not an attention to detail type of person, this might not be interesting to you.
I mean, not even that. Like, that's why I think masturbation is important, because I think your orgasm is your responsibility.
Oh, okay.
So masturbation is important because
now you got to explain that a little bit to me right there. Explain that. Your orgasm.
Because your orgasm is your responsibility. It's your job to communicate your pleasure to your partner.
I like that.
Right? And so if you don't know your pleasure because you don't masturbate, because a lot of times, especially people with dicks, right? Y'all think, well, I got somebody to fuck, so I don't need to be masturbating. Masturbating is for single, lonely motherfuckers that don't have nobody to fuck on. And that's not true.
Okay.
So if you're masturbating correctly, then you can get to know what you like. And just like your taste for food, your taste for sex changes. The shit you liked when you was 21, you may not like at 31 or at 41 or even at 51. So when you start to masturbate and connect to yourself, then you can communicate that pleasure to your partner. The same thing with the ladies. You know what I'm saying? When you masturbate and you get to know your vulva and know your vagina and know your body and the different things that you like, even outside of a lot of times women think about masturbation as being something put inside, right? Masturbation can be completely external. The nipples are connected to the same part of the brain as the genitals. So
that's premium game right there.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're not connected to your pleasure, how you expect to communicate it to somebody else? So your orgasm is your responsibility because it's your job to communicate what you like and what you don't like to whoever you're fucking.
Right.
I think that's an underrated comment though, because
that is,
I'm gonna tell you what,
I agree.
A lot of the ladies often say that they ain't messing with no brother that don't know what he doing, and I often rebut that by saying all of y'all are different. So you can't expect a guy who's just started, dealing with you or having intercourse with you to know exactly what you like old boy that you just got done fooling with all these months and all these years. You can't expect him to come in.
But just like Benji said, taking your time and paying attention. So that's something that I call sensuality in sexuality, because a lot of times we try to act like sensuality and sexuality are the same things. And that's why I teach sensual intelligence, because to me, sensuality is experiencing non-sexual pleasure through all 5 of the senses, right? Non-sexual pleasure. Because when you move through the world sensually and you're experiencing non-sexual pleasure through all 5 of the senses, and it's time to have sex, now you're experiencing sex through all 5 of the senses. And it adds layers to your pleasure, which makes you even more receptive to being able to hit some of those more than 18 different kinds of orgasms.
Would you liken the sensuality more into the lovemaking aspect, or that paying attention to detail to the lovemaking aspect, or is it different?
I would say it's any kind of sex, because I have had some sensual ass sex with a man's hand wrapped around my throat. So it just depends. Like, listen, you can get fucked and be sensual. Don't act like the shit is mutually exclusive.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
This is not an either or. This is a yes and.
As I say every morning on every post, lift your hands. You speaking good gospel today. You speaking good gospel.
And God made sex and God made pleasure. So but
he did. And worship is considered is likened to the sexual aspect. So it's a togetherness. It's a oneness.
Did you know that the Kama Sutra is a holy text?
Huh?
Did you know that the Kama Sutra is a holy text?
I mean, I know now.
The belief is that orgasm is as close as you can get to God without dying. So the Kama Sutra,
it feel like that.
The Kama Sutra gives you the different positions to access different orgasms to help you reach as close as you can get to God without dying.
No, I like that. Now, again, you spitting good gospel. This is premium game. I'm loving this, because although I didn't know a lot of these terms, I've experienced them, of course, and I think many of us and those who are watching have experienced that. But I think a lot of people have had such bad sex that they're turned off by it nowadays. So for you to come on and give us this information and give us these details, I think it's going to help a lot of people out there.
Well, I don't think people are having bad sex. I think that they're not having the sex that they want, and they're not having satisfying sex. Right? But again, if you don't know your body, how you going to tell me what to do?
That's very true.
And so
then that means somebody can be a kid in the sex department. They can be a novice in the sex department.
Absolutely. There are grown people. There's still grown people that think squirt is pee. I will always have a job.
Dang.
They argue about that on social media all the time.
Yeah, they don't know. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. It's
always have a job. And even so, let's talk about sensuality, right? So if you talk about sensuality and sexuality, so sensuality is non-sexual pleasure. So eating some amazing food. You know what I'm saying? Looking at something like a beautiful color or a piece of artwork, the sun on your back, on your shoulders when you're out hooping or walking down the street, when you give someone a hug and the hug just feels so supportive, or they smell amazing, right? That is all non-sexual pleasure. Music is non-sexual pleasure, right? So when you take that sensuality and now you're living sensually every day, you're paying attention to how your senses are engaged every day. When it gets time to have some sex, you're not thinking about, oh, I'm getting ready to eat this pussy. No, you're thinking about the firmness of the clit on the softness of the tongue and the wetness of their body. You know what I'm saying? You're thinking about the weight of the dick in their mouth and the weight the act, you're pieces.
So you going very explicit,
right? You're thinking about. I'm just saying, you're thinking about when your partner holds their breath in anticipation because you're doing something they like, versus when they exhale because you did it and it felt amazing, right? You're paying attention to how they're tightening up and relaxing and holding their breath, or their pleasure sounds. Right? You're paying attention to that. So it doesn't matter if you've never had sex with this person before, Ken. If you go into it sensually, it doesn't matter who you fucking, you're going to leave an impression on them. I'm talking about daytime, in the flashlight, in the bushes, with leaves taped to your forehead. Like, this is how you get your bills paid.
You wild for that one. Okay. But you on point with that though. That is very true. You can't leave.
But you see how specific it was, because that was my life.
Well, I've always been growing up with women. I've always been under the impression that a woman, you should handle her a little bit more sensual when it comes to sex. Like, you should be, I mean, there's levels to it, obviously. Like, you can do whatever you want to do, but I've always been under that impression that you handle your business slowly, gently, roughly, like not just one stage, but you always, you phase it out as you go.
Well, here's the thing. Sensual doesn't necessarily mean soft.
Okay, right. I agree. You mentioned that earlier.
You grabbing that neck is a right and wrong way to choke somebody. When you line that chin up with the middle of your hand and you squeeze in this way, you don't press down. You don't restrict the air. You don't cut the air off. You just restrict it. So you squeeze your hand this way. That's still sensual.
Yes, I
agree.
When
you smacking that ass, when you talking shit to them, that's still sensual because it's all out of the senses.
And if it's her pleasure points, that makes it even more arousing.
Correct, because she's gonna tell you what to do. And like Jill Scott said, you can, if you can't tell me what to do, you can't tell me what to do. But if you can tell me what to do, you can tell me what to do.
Okay. Lift your hands. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. You know, before the show, we talked about the sex toys a little bit, and Goody was breaking down to me the thought process that most of us have, especially with guys. You know what I'm saying? When we hear women say sex toys, we think that excludes me or that's taking my place. But Goody said that's not the case. So let's talk about that. We definitely gonna talk about this rose, because over this past year, that's all we've been hearing. So she's gonna tell us about this rose.
Yes, please give us a rundown on that. I need to pontificate.
So first, the sex toy thing, right? When people think about sex toys, the first thing they think about is big old dick-shaped vibrators. Men, women, humans. That's the first thing they think. All sex toys are not big and penis-shaped. They don't all vibrate. They don't all go on the genitals. There are, it's BDSM Awareness Month. You know what I'm saying? Ball gags are sex toys. Whips and chains and masks and zippers and corsets and all kind of shit are sex toys, right? There are so many different toys and accessories that support pleasure that are not shaped like a penis, or they don't vibrate. And when you look at sex toys in partnered sex, because a lot of times people feel like sex toys are just for single people or people that are masturbating. When you look at a sex toy as a as a coworker instead of a competition, instead of a competitor, right? When you look at a sex toy as a teammate, right? It's not only does it add a level of intimacy to your relationship, because now y'all can talk about what y'all like and all these in a new way, right? But also you working smarter, not harder out here. You know what I'm saying? She riding dick and she got a vibrator on her clit. Now she's squirting all over the place because y'all have worked together. You know what I'm saying? If she's sucking your dick and she got a finger vibe on her hand and she's stroking your dick with your dick in her mouth with a vibrator in her hand, got your whole shaft with its own zip code out here, right? That's not a competitor at that point. You know what I'm saying?
All facts.
That's 75236 right there. You know what I'm saying? So when we start to add the toys to part, pleasure starts to look different. The number of orgasms you can access. And I also want to take off the table, doesn't necessarily, because we so busy focused on the orgasm that we forget to enjoy the journey and forget to enjoy the pleasure, and that's where the sensuality really is.
Right. Why do you think people
the orgasm is the payoff from?
Give me one reason why you think people are turned off by sex toys, if that's even a thing.
I would think that men may be turned off by sex toys because they think that if I bring this, right, this may be bigger than you. So now you got a problem. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Or a lot of times, people say, well, dicks can't vibrate, so that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? That's something that a human dick can't do. But guess what? This sex toy cannot smack my ass and pull my hair. Right? So you have job security. You got to keep the main thing.
Right. That makes a world of sense. I hope everybody heard that. Run that back.
Okay. And talk about that rose, because that's been like the best seller for the past year or so.
Easily. And the rose is like that dope. And the thing about the rose, I don't even have one. That's the thing. I had one for demo to show people, and this lady took it out my hand because I told them it was the last one. She took it out my hand, got up out her seat, and took it out my hand while I'm talking, just so everybody knew that it was hers. Okay, so the rose, it looks like a little rose, and it uses air pulse. I love sex and tech, y'all. It uses air pulse technology to stimulate the clitoris. Now, most toys will suck the clit in. This toy pushes the clit button.
Oh.
So that's why the toy is different, because I don't like clit sucking toys. And another thing, because one of my favorite things to do is find aftermarket uses for sex toys. So every clit toy is also a nipple toy. And remember, I told y'all earlier that the nipples are connected to the same part of the brain as the genitals.
Yep, right. It's all wired the same.
Wow, that's quite interesting. I did not know that.
Oh, but think about this. Everybody has nipples.
Yeah. So, hold on. Let's talk about that though, right quick, because I think that's been a topic of discussion before too with guys. You have a lot of guys out there who will say, nah, I don't want a lady, you know what I'm saying, rub my nipples and lick at my nipples, because that's what we're supposed to be doing to them. They're not supposed to be doing that to us, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of dudes kind of feel like, you know what I'm saying, that's beneath them, or that's feminine, you know what I'm saying? But talk about that. Talk about how guys can benefit from a woman doing that to them.
So nipples have been feminized typically because it's for breastfeeding and all of that, and titties are typically associated with women, and so I think they get a bad rap. So men, especially black men, because the definition of black masculinity is so narrow, they don't really embrace that nipples can provide pleasure. And so I tell the chicks all the time, listen, when you kissing him and you getting ready to suck his dick on your way down, go on and swipe your tongue across the nipples and see what happened. He not gonna ask you to do it, but he ain't gonna stop you either.
Well, you just had another lift your hands moment. Good grief. That as plain as that sounds, that is very true.
And so with the rose, right? Every toy that vibrates, you need to use lubricant with it. Period. But with the rose, if she on top and she riding and she got the rose on her clit, right? And she lean down and run her mouth across your nipples, and then she put that rose on your nipple while she's still riding your dick.
My.
Okay. Well, we learning a lot.
So that's why the rose is so dope to me.
Yeah.
I think the rose is so dope because I'm always telling people how to use it beyond how it's marketed. And I have 4 sex toy wholesalers that I work with, and none of them have the rose right now. And when they do get it, I get an email letting me know that the rose is coming, and I gotta buy pre-sale. I gotta pay for the shit before it get out of customs. And I'm buying them 20, 30 at a time like it's dope for real.
Wow. I need to start selling roses.
And I don't even have to make like a whole elaborate post about the rose. You know what I do? I hold that motherfucker up like this and post a picture.
And they gone instantly.
Gone. I got 30 of them. I just put there 30.
Go ahead.
That's it. Done.
Give me 1 second. I need to do that too. I need to put that in my notes.
Yeah, I need to mark that down as something that it could possibly be lucrative. But that's dope that you also tell people how to kind of repurpose, you know what I'm saying, some of those sex toys, because you know some people may know the general use for it, but doesn't understand that it can be used for many different things in many different ways, and then expand their arsenal, you know what I'm saying, the things that they can actually do. So, you know,
let me ask pleasure. That's the thing, expanding the pleasure. And I feel like some of these sex toys cost a lot of money. Now, I really try to make my price point accessible, because I feel like if it's not accessible, it's not revolutionary, and I consider myself a revolutionary. But if you gonna drop $100 on a sex toy, that bitch better be able to do more than one thing.
I would agree.
Go ahead, Benji.
I was gonna say, gosh, Lord have mercy. I hope I didn't forget my question. But I was gonna ask this: if a person is intimidated by a sex toy, how do you get them to loosen up and actually participate? Because you're teaching these classes. I'm sure you've had women in there or men who probably aren't too fond of doing this or using these. So how do you get them to actually want to buy these sex toys? Did she hear me or did she freeze, Ken?
Did she freeze up on us?
I think she froze up on us, Pimp.
Yeah, I think she might have froze up on us. Okay, because the interview was getting good. We're gonna. Okay, yeah. So you're back now.
Okay, hold on. Replay that. Did you hear my question? Do I need to replay that?
Yeah, ask her again. I think she froze.
Yeah, she froze again. I think she froze up on us. God dog it. This was getting goody. A little bit too good.
Well, but here's the thing. She was giving us a lot of information that, you know, I guarantee you a lot of y'all don't know, or probably not interested in some of the stuff, especially with the guys. But as you get older, a lot of the things that you're saying you're not interested in because for whatever reason, and that's why we always laugh when younger guys get with older women, the older women turn them out because they start exposing them to stuff that, you know,
they don't know.
And that they don't know.
But there's no reason. There should be no excuse if you're with somebody. This is what I would say, just my personal preference. There is no way you should not be with somebody and not be interested in sexually pleasing them as much as you possibly can. I just can't fathom not wanting to do that for somebody you're involved with. Like, life is more than paying bills and doing all of that. This is, you know, let's get this thing going sexually, because I mean, we've always been in a sexual revolution, so to speak. I think personally, we've hit that, and we're certainly in it now with porn and with sex toys at a high. I think you shouldn't be. There's no way you can be selfish in this era sexually with a partner. I just can't fathom that idea.
And we got to talk about that too. She's back now. You good now, Goody?
I think she still froze up on us.
Yeah, I think she froze up on us again, because we definitely got to talk about the porn aspect of it, because
right,
I have a thought process behind that, and how, you know, of course the accessibility of porn is way different now than what it was when we were kids and we were younger, because I always laugh and say, when we had to search for porn when we was kids and when we were younger, it was an adventure, right? You had to go to the store to get a book. You had to go somewhere to get a tape, or you had to know somebody who knew somebody to get a copy of a tape.
It was always that freaky dude that had the stuff who would show it to the homies. Yo, bro, like, come here. Like, let me show you something. But see, I learned from women. Like, it was women who taught us the game as young boys. So there were tips that they would give us. You're
gonna have to explain that. You're gonna have to explain how a woman was teaching you as a kid. So we're gonna have to we gotta understand
that. well, I'll put it to you like this. When the girls used to come over, whether they were cousins or whatever, like, they were more sexually advanced than the boys. So they were freaky. So this is how I learned very early that women are very, very, very sexually, you know, they're like this. And so we didn't understand it. Of course, I didn't understand it young, but you get what I'm saying? My first experience wasn't with no woman that I loved or that I was cool with. It was with the woman who was so-called the neighborhood, you know, heifer. You know what I'm saying? The neighborhood hoe. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's just the way you learn. Like, that's the way you learn. And at that time, when you're young, you don't know the game. So, you know what I'm saying? She's showing you how to do this. She's showing you how to do that. And they size always mattered to them. So they wanted to see out of the group. If it was 5 boys in the group, it was easy for her to walk up and be like, what you packing? And as little boys, we was like, I don't know.
Is this a grown woman we talking about?
Yeah, we talking about women. If we're gonna be open about this whole thing, especially in a lot of our communities, man, the women taught us a lot of the game, a ton.
The grown women.
Yes. The
and
at that age, we're talking about 8, 10, 11 years old. We're talking about the women were in their 20s, and I mean, we ain't talking about 40 and 50 around that time. I'm talking about older than us.
Still a grown woman. Ain't no 11-year-old got nothing for no 20-year-old. So, like, if they had been a man, they'd have been up under the jail. You see what I'm saying?
Course.
And I think that we don't view that as the same predatory, pedophilic violation of consent when it's a woman and a boy, but it should be.
Of course. And it was like, you're a boy, you're not gonna go tell. I mean, you're not gonna go tell.
Ain't no way in hell.
I mean, I totally agree. Looking back on it now, shoot, the babysitter used to send you to bed and give you some vicious head. Like, you know.
This guy here. But it's telling the truth. He's telling the truth, because
it's if we just opened up and talked about this a little bit more heavier, a lot of these young boys, like, if they just opened up and talked, we just kept it all a secret.
Their first experience was predatory. Most Black men specifically, their first experience was predatory. A lot of Latinx culture, Mexicans specifically, like actual Mexicans from Mexico, the fathers will take their sons to a sex worker to break them in or whatever. But at least that's consensual and it's, transactional. Like, this is violation. And I don't think we talk about what that looks like in our communities and how women can be just as predatory as men. And we don't, you can't keep, if it's a dude, the dad have it. But if it's a guy and it's in an older woman, the dude's getting pats on the back for sleeping with, for bagging an older broad, not even thinking about this woman is violating. I have sons and daughters, and I would listen.
I agree. I totally agree.
It's not cute. And we have those conversations with our sons. Them know that is not okay, and they need to be out here protecting themselves too. We're so worried about men and boys, or men and women and little girls, that we forget that women can also be predatory, especially if they were preyed upon when they were young, because they don't see anything wrong with it because that's where they came from.
Well, a lot of it is also that the brother saw the daddy do it, so he did it too. Like, there's a lot of things that if we go way, way, way back as far as sex. This is why, it's a lot of stuff that us young boys don't talk about, that we just swept under the rug because we didn't understand it. So for a woman to come along and give us some sex education game was a little bit different.
But you sweep it under the rug, but it becomes a part of who you are when you show up sexually, whether you know it or not. And so you have this shit to unpack and shit to work through, or you may feel you may feel insecure, or you may like that feel that you have to dominate the person that you're fucking on may come from that past violation, or it's just lots of layers to that. And that's also why I have a master's in social work, because that's a therapeutic training model. That is how we end up unpacking all of the sexual trauma and stigma that people deal with that impact their sexual pleasure and function, because that's how we move as a culture. And we don't really understand that children have rights and children have autonomy and all these other things. And so the way you're raised shows up in your romantic relationships. And if you don't address those traumas and that bullshit, it's going to show up in your partnerships.
So where does rape culture take a hold in all of this? Like is any of this that we're discussing, we're talking about, any of it come from rape culture, or should we just throw that idea completely out of there and just say we're just having great sex? Or how do you view that?
Well, I think rape culture, it looks very different than what people think it is. Rape culture is when you have little girls and it's 115 degrees in Texas and she got on shorts and you say, go put on some pants because some men finna come over here. That's rape culture, because what the fuck kind of men are you bringing over here that this baby can't be comfortable in her own house in 115 degrees?
Okay.
Rape culture, you think you're protecting your daughter, but protecting her from who?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
We know who they're protecting them from, because we had some weird uncles.
You know what I'm saying? But if you have weirdos, why the fuck they at your house? Everybody got their cousin. Don't leave Tony back there with them kids. Why the fuck is Tony invited?
Yeah,
I would agree.
That's a great topic that needs to be addressed, because I'm like Benji. Like, when I was a kid, like, it was some grown women or some older women around me that introduced me to things, along with adventures in porn, as I would always say. Right. But those were our first experiences with things, and it was incorrect. So as we grow up and we actually start getting involved in consensual sex, we don't kind of know how things should operate, because we already operating kind of like at a deficit, because we already been started out in the wrong manner.
Right.
And you said something about that. You said that shows up
No,
in your sex life,
mm-hmm.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So so when young girls, young boys when young people are violated in some way, sometimes they act out sexually because they don't feel like they had control. So now I'm a control over everybody else I fuck on. So those 2-year-old women that was coming back and with y'all 11-year-old butts probably got touched children.
Oh, I would agree.
Right? Or and that hypersexuality, or maybe it's a hyposexuality where they just don't want to do nothing. They just, you know what I'm saying? It just depends. And then you have people that are questioning who they are and how they show up. Because if your body is being stimulated, if your genitals are being stimulated, you're going to become aroused. You may even reach orgasm. And then people are blaming themselves because they're like, well, I came, did I like it? You know what I'm saying? My body responded. Did I enjoy that? You know what I'm saying? So then you have all this other shit to unpack. And so that's what sex therapists do. That's not what Goody does, because Goody cannot handle that type of trauma on a regular basis because I'm an empath and I absorb people's energy. And I can't go home and be a parent and a partner with somebody else's trauma on my back.
Okay.
Understood. Let's talk about this too. Well, now that we're talking about kind of like how we grew up and how that affects our adulthood. And do you think that some of that stuff ties into, like, we have a culture now of sex? We talk about sex. Is it too soon for sex in a relationship? Like a lot of first dates. Like now the first date is kind of expected. Like something's got to go on. Like for a lot of people out there.
That's social media. I feel like that's social media. I feel like that's the popcorn generation where, you know, shit is immediate, right? And it takes the barriers out for people. You don't have to get to know people. And I think a lot of times women are socialized to hold on to their sex because that's what we have. That's our prize. That's all we got. And that's what they after. So you got to hold on to it as long as you can, because as soon as they get this pussy, that good treatment gonna change.
Okay.
Right? Dudes are socialized, try to get it, and you got to play the game and do what you got to do until you get it. We don't have the conversations about what happens after, right? Or the fact that I may want to give it up, giving it up. We're having sex together.
Right.
You ain't got to convince me to fuck you. I'm going to tell you, fellas, you cannot talk yourself into some pussy. You can only talk yourself out.
Well,
she knew the minute she met you, she knew if she was going to give you something or not. It's up to you to not change your mind.
I personally believe it's in a millisecond within the look that a woman knows if she wants to sleep with you or not. I don't think it takes. This is what makes social media and IG models and all of this like the thing, because we're visual creatures, especially men, right? And for women, I've always believed it. Matter of fact, I was coached this way growing up, is a woman knows what she wants when it comes to this aspect. When she sees you, she knows, okay, like I wanna smash. I
sized you up. She your shoes, your fingernails, if you smell good, if your hair is cut, how you keep yourself together, or your clothes ironed. She has sized you the fuck up. And that is every woman. That is the married ones, the single ones, the old ones, the young ones, the fat ones, the skinny ones, the disabled ones. We all size y'all up. Now, this is the thing. As a married bitch, right? I can size you up. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to act on that attraction. That's what separates us from the animals, is we don't act on every attraction we have. But who wants to be around unfuckable motherfuckers?
I mean, everyone is attracted to beauty in some type of way, right?
Everybody is ugly to somebody, and everybody is pretty to somebody. I think Idris Elba is ass.
I mean, there you have it.
Yeah.
There you have it.
So everybody has a lid, right? But I can find you attractive and still not be interested in pursuing that attraction.
Okay, let me ask you this. While we're talking about attraction, and we were talking about a little bit, I think a little bit earlier when I was talking about the porn and how porn has influenced like the dating scene. It has influenced everything as a whole now, from the availability of porn and what people see, especially at a younger age. And then they go out and want to do these things, because I often laugh and say, okay, you got dudes out here trying to replicate everything they see in porn. And some of these chicks is with it. Some of them ain't. Some of them ain't ready for that. And some of these dudes just don't know what they're doing, and they trying to replicate it, but they don't know what goes on behind the scenes to make that stuff happen.
Right.
And that's influencing, you know what I'm saying, that how people want to have sex now, and also how women present themselves, the bodies and everything going forward has had a huge trend. Because like I said, when we were young, we didn't have access to porn like that. Now it's in the palm of their hand. You can look at it all day.
Yeah, no, you have to watch the VHS, and then you got to make sure you look at the numbers so you remind it back to right where it was before you started watching it, and put it right back where you found it. Like you got to put, now it's in their phone, right? I actually am on Pornhub. Pornhub has a sex education space. But people don't know, because that's not what the fuck they go to Pornhub for. But
right.
It would be as accessible as porn. And I think porn has definitely influenced it and influenced media and the way we sell things and the way we do things. But I also think that people are having sex and people are fucking and people are seeing sex everywhere. We are a very sexualized culture, but we're not a very sexually educated culture. And that is the issue. That's the disparity. Right.
Why would you say
about, even the those grown women was talking to y'all about, I guarantee you they wouldn't tell y'all about condoms. They wouldn't tell y'all how to put the condom on, how to take the condom off. None of that. I say every person with a penis should masturbate with a condom on. And I'm going to tell you why. Just follow me. There are 3 reasons why you should masturbate with a condom on. 1, skill building, because you get good at putting that thing on quickly and correctly, right? 2, you can associate pleasure and condom use, because the main complaint is it don't feel the same, right? So the main reason condoms don't work is user error, because they're not put on correctly. And the main reason they don't work is because people ain't using them, because they don't feel the same. So that combats both of those reasons, especially if you're masturbating and you ain't never had sex with another person before. That's all you know. So when you go into having sex with another person, it ain't shit for you to put no condom, because that's your life, right? Then the third reason is that it's a quicker cleanup. So you know where all your socks and washcloths are on laundry day.
Oh, man. The sock thing, I never
that's a woman to the T. Worried about
always
towels and socks and stuff.
Yeah, the sock thing.
That is a mugger to the T. The 2 girls.
Oh, man. All facts, though, of course.
I agree.
Let's talk
about.
You know what I'm
saying? But that's like my daughter, I'm a senior and I have a first grader. My first grader, she started school last year. She don't know nothing but masks and hand sanitizer. So it ain't shit for her to wear masks and hand sanitizer every day. She, mommy, where's your mask? You got a mask on before you get out the car. Like, you're gonna get coronavirus. Like, she's been trained. That's all she know. The senior be struggling. He's better now, but last year he was struggling because it was a new concept. But if you raise them up in the way that they should go,
you're preaching tonight.
Then they don't have no issue, because that's all they know. I have an 18-year-old. I don't know if he's fucking or not. But I don't need to know if he's fucking or not, because I prepared him for success when it's time to make those life decisions.
I need to send you an offering. We need to send you an offering.
My cash is Goody Howard. It's GOODYHOWARD.
Yes, Lord. We're gonna send you an offering for this. You're giving good game. This is premium game.
Let's talk about sex drives, right? Because I mean, as we age, things change. Because when you're young, you just have it's this thing of, okay, well, if you're 20, you want to do it all the time, but by the time you're 40 or 50, let's talk about that. Let's talk
It
about
becomes a quality versus quantity.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Okay.
But it doesn't have to happen that way. And it also doesn't have to like mismatch libidos and things like that. I will say this: masturbation helps with stamina. Masturbation helps with sex drive. But you know what else helps with sex drive and stamina?
Water. Yeah. Keeps you from getting.
People don't drink enough water. They're not hydrated enough. Arousal is blood flow. And your blood flows better when you're properly hydrated. So and we have sedentary jobs. We work from home. We sit on our asses all day. For the people with dicks, your circulation in your testicles is where your semen and your sperm and your sex drive and your testosterone come from. So if you're sitting on top of your balls all day, they're suffocating. They're not generating the same hormones that they're supposed to. Your blood flow is not going into the linum and into the penis in the way it should. So you need to stand up at your desk for a couple hours a day. You need to walk around this motherfucker. If you work out, leg day helps build testosterone, which helps with sexual function, arousal, and desire.
Fellas, don't
if
stop.
you're properly hydrated.
I was just going to say the whole workout thing.
Yeah, and so, but if you're properly, and it doesn't even have to be like weights and shit. It's just getting up and getting that blood pumping because circulation is arousal. So if you're not properly hydrated, your erection quality suffers. That's the clitoral erection and the penis erection. If you're not properly hydrated, your cum is going to be too thick. And if somebody is sucking your dick, they're going to be mad at you. Cum should be the texture of spit, not snot.
Oh
my.
Okay. If you have a vulva, if you're not hydrated properly, that thing not gonna be thanging like it's supposed to. It's not gonna be as wet as it needs to be. Your muscle, the vagina elongates and prepares for insertion when you get aroused. That thing can't elongate because the blood ain't moving the way it's supposed to. If you're not a squirter, you can become a squirter if you're properly hydrated. If you are a squirter, you'll squirt more, but you can't squirt dust. You have to be hydrated. Too many fucking cocktails, mimosas, sodas, Starbucks, wine, all that shit make your pussy dry and it make your dick soft.
Oh man, yeah, I know. Benji didn't want to hear that last one.
Look. I drink the wine, okay? But listen, I do not have a problem because I do all the other stuff you're talking about. I am on an intermittent fasting diet in the morning. I don't eat breakfast. The first thing I do in the morning is I have to have 3 or 4, 5 bottles of water before 10 o'clock. I don't even eat. So I'm drinking my water, getting my exercise in. But see, you're wrong for that, for putting my wine in that conversation. But I will have to agree with you because there was this one time at band camp when I had a little bit too much wine. And I was wondering, like, what was wrong with my boy? And I was like, he was functioning.
Sometimes
he was good. And then all of a sudden, he just went.
That's an immediate issue.
I was like, what the problem is?
That's immediate. That's like whiskey dick or something, right? But I'm talking about long term. And so I'm talking about erection quality. You know how sometimes that dick get harder for certain positions or certain times of day or certain partners or certain fantasies. Your erection quality changes.
Right.
I'm not saying it's not going to get hard. I'm saying the hardness, right? The level of brick, the level of pipe will change. And so that is important because that firmness also helps stimulate the G-spot. That firmness also helps lubricate the vagina. That firmness also matters when you're sucking dick. Like all of that matters.
Right.
So it's erection quality. Not necessarily just that you can't get it up.
Listen, to all of y'all tuning in to the Fiyah Podcast right now, you are getting some premium game. You need to share this with your neighbors, your friends, your uncles, your aunties, all of that. Do not go without sharing this video, all right? And be doing yourself an injustice.
Speaking of blood flow, we talked about this a little bit before the show too. People running a red light. Let's talk about that for a second. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a thing, of course. You know, some of y'all out there, you know, ladies like to let guys run the red light, and some guys like to run the red light. Is that something is that healthy?
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing unhealthy about having sex during the period. It's actually orgasms help lessen menstrual cramps. Orgasms help speed the period up, make it go away faster. But orgasms are uterine contractions. And so the uterus squeezes and the more the blood comes out, like it speeds up the sloughing process, the period process. So you can actually masturbate or have sex with a partner and speed your period up. The cramps also uterine contractions. So when you have an orgasm, it squeezes more blood down, so your body doesn't have to give those cramps as much. The orgasm has done the job of those cramps. So there's actually health benefits to having an orgasm on your period. Not necessarily you can have an orgasm with a person or by yourself, honey. Get in the tub and get your wand and your lubricant and get to it by yourself or have a partner. But there are benefits to be sexually active during your period. I think people, because blood is not lubricant, there are some definite concerns when it comes to the actual process of engaging in period sex. But I think that you have to make sure to check in with your partner and see if even that's some shit they down for.
Right.
People assume because I do what I do that I'm a down for a lot of shit that I'm not really in real life doing. But I know I'm educated enough to be able to help people have safer, more satisfying sex, no matter what kind of sex that is.
That's good.
Okay. Good. All right. So next up, we gotta hear the tips for great oral sex, because that's kind of A1, on a lot of people's list. They want to have that before they have this actual, intercourse. You know what I'm saying? They want oral sex. So
No mouth, no marriage.
Say that again for the people. Say that again.
No mouth, no marriage.
That's going on the shirt, people.
That's on a t-shirt.
No mouth. Explain that concept to people.
I don't see, like, for me, the concept came from the fact that if you are not eating pussy, we cannot even be cool. Like, you can't call my phone. We are just friends, and it's never going to happen because you don't eat pussy. Like, that is some shit that you're not allowed to do as a grown up. So you need to find the woman that's out there that's okay with that, because the bitch I'm not her. And so it came from a joke that I was like, I'm never, like, I can't marry a dude that don't eat, like, oh, ew, but who's marrying dudes that don't eat pussy? Like, no mouth, no marriage. And so that's where it came from. But it's legit. It's real life for a lot of people. Right. I know there are men that are unicorns that don't enjoy getting their dick sucked for whatever reason. And so they may want a partner that doesn't suck dick. Okay, well, that's, again, every pot has a lid. That's not my lid.
Makes sense. Now, I don't know one woman that doesn't enjoy having her pussy ate.
Yeah.
But have you ever?
There are a lot of people
that have you
getting it done correctly.
Who don't enjoy that?
Lots of women, because they haven't been getting it done correctly. I met a dude that said he didn't need to take my pussy eating class because all he know to do, he go and he get that blow and go, and bitches love him. And I said, what is a blow and go? And he said he actually puts his mouth on the vaginal opening and blows into the pussy hole, and while he's eating pussy. And I was like, do you know you can kill a bitch like that? You can give a woman an aneurysm blowing into her pussy, and now you're in the pen because you was blowing in pussy when you could have just took my class and learned something.
Wow. That's
there are people out here that don't know what they're doing. It's people that eat pussy and they just latch onto the clit, and that's just all it work. And it's a whole vagina, it's a whole vulva down there, and you just on the clit.
Isn't that because most women? Would you say isn't that because most women are? I've heard women say this before, that they only want the clit sucked, and they actually think it's. And when I hear it, I know they don't know what they're talking about, or they haven't had it. It just shows how much of a novice they are. But I've heard women say that they only want the clit sucked. So, and
you
the
have
rest
probably
is
heard women say that they enjoy having their clit sucked, but not only.
Right.
But also, we have clitoral orgasm is the most common kind of orgasm. So you do want to engage the clit, and that's how we reach orgasm most commonly. But often we just focus on the clit and ignore the entire rest of the vulva. And so you're missing out on, again, pleasure that you could easily be kind of correlating and kind of making a bigger thing. And so even if that's what they enjoy, if they enjoy only the clit, that's because that's what they've been getting.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? You need to kiss the pussy like you kiss her mouth. And I know you can't kiss, you can't eat pussy. And there you go. Again, it was nice meeting you. Have a nice day. It was, Godspeed, because it's not going down.
Ooh, you just got so many lips.
There's a book out there called The Ultimate Kiss that you fellas might need to pick up to help you get some tips. It's called The Ultimate Kiss. Go to Amazon, look it up. Ultimate Kiss. But go ahead.
Or you can take lip service, which is my pussy eating class. Go to askgoody.com.
Well,
I'm teaching it in November. I only teach
askgoody.com.
Yes. So I only teach in October. I'm teaching rhydology. This is the last online public rhydology of the year on October 27th. And then in November, I'm teaching sensual intelligence and lip service in November. And that's also Vulvember. And then in December, I'm teaching lick, which is my...
You just slid that in there real quick like that, huh? You just gonna slide that in there quick like that.
And strokeology is my like stroke game class. And so December is Dimmer and November is Vulvember. Because I want us to finish the year honoring our genitals and having and centering our pleasure. And then I also have like a gift box. It's called the Lickmas Kit, like not Christmas, but Lickmas. And it has a Santa Claus hat, a mistletoe belt, flavored lubricant, a bib, an oral sex bib. It's a terry cloth unisexual rewashable bib, flavored lube, and a holiday themed oral sex dice. And then there's like a little QR code in the box that takes you to a video where I'm explaining how to use all the things in the box. And that is $97. But because I'm on this podcast, if you go to askgoody.com and use code FIYAH, FIYAH, you will get 10% off all products on the site. Not the classes. Not the classes. Classes are full price. But products. So t-shirts, sex toys, Lickmas Kit, all of the things, 10% off for the rest of the year.
You're getting hooked up now. To those of you watching, you need to share this with your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your uncles, your aunties, tell them all. Go on and get that discount.
All right, I got a couple more questions to ask before we get out of here. Of course, I gotta come through for the guys. Do you have tips for guys to be able to control their erections and orgasms and to last longer in the bedroom?
Masturbate. Masturbating helps with stamina. Masturbating helps with premature ejaculation. Masturbating helps with erection quality because you get that continuous blood flow to the penis. Also, cock rings are great because they help keep the blood in the penis. Change positions. Here's the thing about people with dicks that y'all don't understand. Foreplay is for you too.
Right.
The reason why you're having sex and you're coming really quickly is because your oven wasn't preheated properly. You need about 15 to 20, 30 minutes of foreplay to actually get your sexual arousal cycle together. My girl, Sexual Essentials, Samia Burton, was on 85 South Show, and she said this, and so many people tagged me in it, and I was like, hey, Samia is my girl. Because sex educators that I know, the Black women sex educators I know, we are in collaboration, not competition. But that warm up, that foreplay is for y'all too. So the reason you're coming quickly is because you wasn't done baking. That quality of that erection, that blood flow to that area, all of those things still have to get going for you too. So if you start fucking in the desire phase, because it's desire, arousal, pleasure, orgasm, plateau, refractory period. If you start fucking at the beginning of your sexual arousal cycle, you ain't even got up here yet. You're not supposed to start fucking till up here. You still right here. The roller coaster ain't even got up here yet. So when you start too soon, you finish too soon.
I agree.
There you go.
As Cat Williams say, you should know your stroke count.
Facts.
You should know your stroke count.
You should.
It's as simple as that.
And condoms will help you with your stroke. When you had a barrier between you and whoever or whatever you fucking on, you get a couple more strokes because it doesn't feel the same. But if you use lifestyle skin condoms, which are my favorite, they are super thin. You can feel the warmth through your partner's body, all of that. But you still get more strokes with a condom on. Now, I know, Ken, you're married. I'm married too. But let me tell you something. Condoms and sex for married people, most married people are having uncondomed sex, right? So we're fucking raw. That's great for you, but she's leaking for a day or two after that. Ain't nobody trying to do that. She really love your ass because she walking around here leaking for 2 days, fucking with you. But a condom, y'all can have morning sex, and she can walk around and go on about her business too. She ain't got to worry about leaking and shit all day. I have more sex when my husband uses condoms. We have more sex because I look forward to it more. I don't like leaking for a day or two, pH being off a little bit because semen in the, I don't like that shit. So I'm less engaged and want it less because it's a whole process for me. You get to come and get up.
Right.
Also, sexually transmitted allergens. My husband is allergic to penicillin, so they give him Bactrim. I'm allergic to Bactrim.
Oh, wow.
What goes in comes out.
Right.
So there are trace amounts of Bactrim in his semen. I don't want to know what happens if some Bactrim get in my pussy because I get every side effect on the label when I have Bactrim. Okay? So from the day, so science and whole shit, it takes 3 to 5 days for the body to create a new batch of semen in the body, okay? So from the day he starts taking Bactrim to 5 days after, we're using condoms and we're not having oral sex because I don't want to risk getting trace amounts of Bactrim in my system, or he don't want to risk getting trace amounts of penicillin in his system.
That's good info.
That's a good point. Good point.
Right? So say like I'm plant-based and my husband still eats meat. His semen and his pH is much different than mine because we don't have the same diet.
Right. So diet makes a big difference in all of that too. You would agree, right?
Also, if you're a smoker, that matters. So when I was pimping, I wouldn't date dudes that smoke cigarettes or hookah because that nicotine will get in your saliva. And so again, no mouth, no marriage. So you eating some pussy. So you smoking cigarettes, and now you putting your nicotine mouth on my pussy. You fucking my whole pH up.
Right.
So I wouldn't, and a hookah doesn't even have a filter. You might as well just be eating cigarettes. So cigar smokers, hookah smokers, and cigarette smokers, it was a no-go for me because my fucking pH balance on relation is fine with you.
That's good info. That's good to know.
Okay, I got one last question for you, and this is for the ladies. Can a woman learn to orgasm? Like, you know what I'm saying? Learn to squirt, learn to have an orgasm, and how does she go about doing that?
Okay, so I am of the school of thought that everyone that was assigned female at birth has the physical capability to squirt. Okay, but think about it like a six-pack. We all have ab muscles, but we don't all have. That shit takes focus and intention, right? So when you're having sex that you enjoy, keyword enjoy, and you feel like you have to pee, it's not pee. Just relax and let it go. Because it's physiologically impossible for an aroused human to urinate while aroused without excruciating pain, and we call that sexual incontinence. Okay, so think about it. It feels like the sensation of you have to pee, the same part of the body. It's the same muscles involved. Okay, just like a penis can come and pee from the same hole, so can a vagina. It's called anatomical correlation. Okay, and so it feels like you have to pee, but you don't because you're aroused. Because like y'all got penises. If your urinary erection and your sexual erection are not the same kind of erection, you can't have sex with a girl with a pee when you got a urinary erection to go pee. You see what I'm saying? Like if you got to go pee, your dick get hard, but you can't have sex with nobody with that erection.
Right.
Same thing. So when you're having sex that you enjoy, if you feel like you have to pee, just relax and let it go. Now, if you're having sex you're not enjoying, you just having it because it's going to be payday and you want a new purse, and you feel like you have to pee, then that might be pee, sis. Just hold what you got because that's not going to be squirt.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's facts. Okay, like,
but it's facts though.
You know, these are questions. These are questions that people inbox me, and you know, I'm a man of my word. You know, I said I was gonna ask them, so I'm asking, and she's giving great information. So I hope they watching to get this feedback because I mean, hey, you know, we can't be out here, you know, with this information available to us and not acting upon the information. So it's given to you now, so you should know better.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, when you know better, you do better.
Yep, and that's what it is. So
my
go
people
ahead,
are destroyed for the lack of knowledge because they have rejected knowledge.
That's facts. So
oh boy.
like I said, that was really the last question that I had. You know what I'm saying? She's given a lot of information. Right. So if you missed this episode, if you tuned in late, you can go back and watch it on the Fiyah Session page, or go if you're my friend on Facebook, you can go and watch it on my page. Benji will share it. We'll tag Goody in it. So it'll be available. And it's also available on YouTube. We'll give you that information as well. But before we get up out of here, Goody, do you have anything that you would like to lead the people with and also give them the information on how to contact you?
I just think, like I said, your orgasm is your responsibility, and you need to explore your pleasure so that you can communicate that to the people that you're fucking. I also think people should understand that sex toys and sex acts do not have an orientation or a gender. So certain shit ain't just for women and certain shit ain't just for men. It's about the pleasure. And so if you step outside of that construct, you will have a lot of pleasure without worrying about what the fuck other people think about what you're doing. As far as where to contact me, I am Ask on everything. Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn. Ask Goody. ASK GOODY.
Okay.
Let me put this up on the screen for everybody so they can see it. Boom. You can go to askgoody.com and get all of her information. She has information on there about her classes, about her products that she sells as well that can help you out. A bunch of different things. So y'all make sure y'all go check that out.
All the things.
That's awesome.
So men and women. She helping both. So
everybody. Yeah. And I think also join my email list because Instagram is always hating on a player. And so they be like deleting some of my posts and threatening to shut my shit down. So if you get on the email list, they actually make good on their threats and shut my Instagram down. You'll still have access to the information that I'll be sharing and posting because was like when Instagram and Facebook was down yesterday, people was jumping out of windows y'all will still be able to have access to me if you join the Goody Gang.
Email list, yes.
Okay, and y'all, I'm telling y'all go check it out because she got some videos on there that's very informative. A lot of the information she gave tonight, she got videos that give you more detail, and that's gonna help you get your game up because, like she said at the beginning of the show, we can always learn something new. So I'm guaranteeing you, if you go check out her content, you're gonna learn something new. Because we learned a whole bunch of stuff tonight, and I'm pretty sure that even though Benji is the consummate expert, he still learned something tonight.
I learned a lot tonight. I think I lifted my hands about 5-6 times at the altar. This was awesome.
What'd you say, Goody?
I said my Cash App is Goody Howard. GOODY HOWARD.
We certainly gonna live. We certainly gonna send to the ministry.
Pass the collection plate. Pass the collection plate.
Listen,
they let good gospel go to waste like that. You got to sow into that.
All right, Benji, what you got for them?
Man, first off, Miss Goody, appreciate you coming on. This was awesome. Those of you, man, follow me on IG, BRB4701. Follow me on Facebook, Benji Banks. Go check out my wine store. The link is always in the bio, man. We got anything you need. And if you ever need a shirt made, a design, I can get it done for you. Jumpsuits are coming out real soon. We know that sweatsuit season is upon us. So we're looking out for the reinvented logo of sweatsuits coming out. And I want to do this real quick before I get off this show. I want to shout out my son. I haven't shared this with everybody. I want to shout out my son, Joseph Banks, man. He will be in his first cartoon real soon. He has been doing amazing. I just want to say I love you, son. I appreciate everything you're doing, man. You are awesome, and I love you. But way to smash it on that cartoon, that piece that you had. So I've already seen the clip. So I'm excited about it, man. So I just want to shout out my baby boy. And as always, man, keep checking us out. We're just gonna keep getting better and better. So y'all might as well come on and join us on this podcast. So
already. And y'all, make sure y'all buy that wine. But like Goody said, make sure y'all are drinking your water too. Can't just be drinking wine, and you can't turn water into wine. So you got to drink both. If you're gonna do one of these, you got to have both.
Yes, you do.
All right.
Yes. Something right now.
All right, well, y'all already know y'all can catch me at Big Ken's Comedy on IG, Big Ken's Comedy on Twitter, Big Ken's Comedy on Facebook. Y'all can also send me a friend request at Kenneth Boston. I might accept you, I might not. Just depends on what you got going on. If you're a Bitcoin miner or you're selling real estate or anything like that, you're trying to peddle anything to me, I'm probably not going to accept your friend request, but good luck on your hustle. Y'all, and Benji said y'all can check us out every week here at the Fiyah Session Podcast. Y'all can also go to the Fiyah Session Podcast on IG, Fiyah Session Podcast page on Twitter, Fiyah Session Podcast on Facebook. Y'all can also go to YouTube, search the Fiyah Session Podcast. All of the episodes are there. If y'all have ideas or y'all have people that y'all want to see us interview, hit me up. We can try to get them on here. You know what I'm saying? We're doing better, you know what I'm saying, as we go along. So we able to we got a little bit more reach now. So people got content that people can come check out. So they actually believe that we legit, that we just not making up these things to try to get people on. So we appreciate Goody Howard for coming on. Y'all, she's phenomenal. I'm serious. Like, her energy is amazing. So if you can do that, go to her social media sites, follow her. You're going to learn something. You're going to enjoy yourself. And go buy some of them products, because I'm telling y'all, some of y'all really do need to step your game up. Let me say this. We need to step our game up. So, you know what I'm saying? That we support her and that we make sure we getting it popping out here. But y'all already know.
I will be buying a few things.
Yeah, we ain't going to hold y'all up no more. It's the Fiyah Session Podcast. Check us out here every week, every Tuesday, 7:30. We'll be back here. Same bat channel, same bat time next week. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
Holla.